Good day, and welcome to yet another Doctor Who series overview video. And I know I had said that I'd wanted to get these done before the 50th anniversary, but obviously the 50th has passed and I'm still not done. So now I'm setting myself a new goal to get them done before the end of the year. But anyway, so to start this one, we start off with, well, some interesting ones. We've got, first off, the Invasion of Time. So here we return once again to Gallifrey, the Gallifrey that was originally introduced in The Deadly Assassin. And of course we've got the Sontarans, which come in or are revealed halfway through as, the enemy of the peace. This one's kind of cool. You get to see a lot more of Gallifrey than you did in The Deadly Assassin. You go outside, you see the desert or whatnot and all that fun stuff. But one thing that makes this notable, either notable in a good way or a bad way, depending on how you look at it. But here we see a rather interesting version, I guess we would call it version, of the interior of the TARDIS. Essentially, at the end of the story, it takes place where the Doctor and his various companions are running through the TARDIS, followed by the Sontarans, and I think the story was because of a strike, because the BBC was always on strike back then. But because of a strike, they couldn't actually build TARDIS sets or whatever it was they'd originally planned, so the TARDIS interiors are shot in what was at the time a recently closed, either it was a hospital or an asylum. I think it was a hospital. But anyway, so yeah, the TARDIS looks like a decrepit hospital with, well, this is the one time where we actually see the swimming pool, which we see mentioned in the new series. So as long as you can look past that, it's in terms of Time Lord stories, it's nowhere near as strong as The Deadly Assassin. But I still think it's one of Baker's stronger stories. Actually, his performance in this one, especially in the early episodes when you aren't quite sure what's going on, is actually probably one of his best. When he comes off as, kind of, well, psycho might be the term I use. This is where you see especially in the beginning, the Fourth Doctor's, I guess, negative or scary side, or however you want to put it. But anyway, so there we go. Invasion of Time. And now on to Underworld, or also known as the story that blew its budget by the end of the first episode, building sets for a spaceship, and then it gets kind of interesting from there. This one, it's not so much that it's a bad story, it's just the way it was shot. Essentially, about 2/3 of the story is shot in caves using color separation overlay, or CSO, which was still a relatively new way, or a new shooting technique. I think, they were using it for weather and stuff like that, but it was just starting to come into drama. But the thing is, the whole thing just looks off. It looks weird. I know a lot of people often say this is Baker's worst story, and it's not his worst story in terms of the story itself. It's the worst story in terms of the fact that, well, they ran out of the budget, and it looks, well, just ridiculous at points, and, well, kind of cheap. But the spaceship in the first part that took up the entire budget looks cool, so we'll leave it at that. But here we go, Underworld. I believe they also had if I remember correctly, in the making of, or actually, even they got some in-studio stuff in here where they talk about CSO, so, that's worth. The good thing about Doctor Who is when they release the DVDs, they know stories which technically are not that well regarded, so when they do come out on DVD, they often, the features will focus on, maybe some benefits, but also where it went wrong. Which, I find to be, refreshing, and, more or less when you get Hollywood movies and you'll have a movie that's complete crap, and then you'll have, the people who, oh, it's brilliant and my character is so in depth and all that stuff, and no, so at least, Doctor Who, they'll admit where it goes wrong. Then the Sunmakers, also known as a Doctor Who satire on the evil taxman. And this one, actually, this was written by Robert Holmes. And this kind of, you really see his humor. This is probably one of Holmes's best stories, that one. And here it's, kind of, the taxes have gone too far and you're being charged for air and all that, fun stuff. But yeah. So, The Sunmakers, or also known as Taxes Are Bad. Okay, and this one, The Key to Time. I won't bother showing both versions of this one because I think almost 5 years ago I actually did a video where I looked at the original Key to Time and then the re-release back to back. So here we've got the re-release. This one, so it's got the 6 stories of the Key to Time, and the only actual box set in a digipack from the original series. I guess this is, at least when they were first starting to release them, this is the only one that I guess maybe, because it ties together, could go in a digipack, but they haven't done that with any subsequent releases, like say the E-Space trilogy or the Black Guardian, Peter Davison. Those maybe could have, used a digipack release, but whatever. But anyway, so here we have the introduction of Romana, played by Mary Tam, who actually recently passed away within the past few years. But she's only in this for one season. Then Romana regenerates in the guise of Lalla Ward, which, we'll get to when we get to the later ones. Anyway, so here we've got, and I guess, we'll take a look at the back here. So, got the story numbers, just a brief summary. And this one comes with tons upon tons of special features. And that was mainly what made me want to buy this when it first came out, because I already had the original one. But because it came with so much extra stuff, I picked it up, even though I haven't bought a lot of subsequent special editions, but I do plan on doing that at some point in the future, as I keep saying in these. Anyway, so we go in here, so we've got those. One of the few Doctor Who Region 1 DVDs that actually comes with a little booklet. I know I've been told they come with little booklets in Region 2, but I guess they decided not to do that for Region 1. But anyway, so now we're up to The Key to Time. So we are rapidly approaching, well, we're now past the halfway point in the Tom Baker DVDs. So I will have more coming up shortly. So as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.